Hi, Todd. How you doing? Okay, so let's take a look at the cover. And yes, this is a very tech-y-ish esque type masthead, no doubt. Good typeface choice, good presentation, nice hierarchy on the word now, and I think you've done quite a nice job with the masthead. My suggestion is that these aren't working out because they're so traditional. It's just such traditional typeface choice that it's too much of a contrast with the tech now. These are components of the magazine that should work in concert with each other. Okay, so in other words, being part of the masthead, these should work seamlessly with the typeface. I'm not having a problem with the masthead type and the raspberry type. I think it's fine. I think that the masthead is distinguished enough that it's going to separate itself from just about anything that you put on the page. So no problem there. I am having a little bit of a problem with the background image. I think it's too much. I think you're just really striving to use image. It almost seems like you picked this image and just want to use it so badly that you've done some things to the text in order to be able to use it. And what I'm talking about is if I zoom in here a little bit, we can go and see there's a couple of things that are done to the text that are just shouldn't really be happening on the typography. You've kind of got this drop shadow here, and that's if you look really close, it's just not working because there's no reason to do it number one and two. It's just off. It's just off. It's not aligned well. You can see the Y is clearly a Y behind the other Y. So it's not serving the purpose of a drop shadow. It's just, it looks like it's rushed, and it looks like it's done in order to try to improve the visibility of this type. I don't think it's working. Okay, couple of other things here. You've got if I Command R this, since I've got it open as a PDF, I can pull this guide out, and we can see that if I align that guide right there, you've got some alignment issues in that these are all seeming to line up pretty well, although this is hanging over that line. This, I'm not real sure why that is there. It's like you've got this, all of a sudden you've moved to left alignment when this is all either center or right aligned. This is right aligned, and this one is, so that's not in alignment. This is center too, and then if I pull another guide out over here, that's pretty good alignment there. I'm not real sure why that's centered, but just pull that V right over there just to get things in alignment. Okay, so a couple of rules of typography. You don't ever want to add stroke to type. Okay, I don't care what anybody tells you. It's bad practice because it changes the shapes of the letter forms. If you don't believe me, just open up a typeface, add a stroke, and then watch it while you're increasing the stroke size, and you'll see what I mean. Gets to a point of where it's not recognizable, and that just, I'm not saying that anything other than that shows you that it changes the letter shape forms. Also, don't ever use any kind of drop shadow effect. I know this isn't technically a drop shadow, and it is good that you use this kind of technique where you put one text behind the other and offset it instead of using a drop shadow. However, I just don't think that it's working well because I think that it's in too much competition with the background image. Look at your kerning here is so tight. This lightsaber is so tight. The word things, its kerning is so tight. So watch your kerning, watch your leading. You can close down your leading right here a little bit. And right here, I mean, this is like, I'm not real sure if this is all part of the same headline. A cloudy state of things is real. Is a real lightsaber possible? I mean, it's there's just not enough separation. Okay, let's move to the table of contents. Again, very, very image heavy. This is good hierarchy. You've created good hierarchy by scale here, contents. Okay, and this is our featured articles. But if you have your featured articles on one page, one would assume that it's going to be a two-page contents, because what about the, the regular, not the features, but the regular articles or regular monthly or weekly or whatever articles and columns that appear each week. They're not listed in here. So this doesn't make sense having featured articles if you don't have the rest of it, okay? It looks like you're trying to start to create some hierarchy here. This being, is a real lightsaber possible? And then this smaller type science offers a new hope. You're starting to do that. And I really want you to push that idea of creating these differences, these contrasts in typography to establish some hierarchy. Okay, so we have this Raspberry. This is the feature story, right? But that Raspberry, the $35 computer, I think that's well enough. That's established. But then we go here, and I mean, what if you didn't see the cover? What's telling us that this is the feature spread, other than the fact that it's on top? There's nothing separating it from the other type in terms of hierarchy. So you want to think about that, okay? Again, I think the background image is too much. I want you to start thinking more about communicating with type as opposed to trying to use images to design the pages. This page, okay, this page I think is designed, I don't think it's designed very well. I think it's more you're trying to use these elements that you find, like this image and these charts, okay? And you've really not paid much attention to typography at all. So there's a lot of rules being broken here. Okay, first of all, this right here, you've got a drop shadow and a stroke on the same type. So that's a no-no. The image here is, like, I mean, I'm not real sure why you have these white boxes. They're separating everything, sucking everything into themselves instead of allowing to share and breathe with the rest of the page. So let's forget about the blue background. Let's forget about these graphics, okay? Let's work on typography. You've got only one subhead here, okay? You've got, okay, here's an indent, okay? But the next paragraph isn't indicated. It's with an indent. It's indicated by the space. Okay, that's fine. It's fine to indicate the first, but my preference is either you use a space between or with justified type, I think it's best to use a space between paragraphs. So one or the other, but not both. Okay. A pull quote would be nice instead of these graphics that it looks like you found and really are just really wanting to use. And then take a look at some of your justified type settings. Big space here, big space here. Look at this really tight rammed in type right there. And then look how widespread that is. Those are indications of poor settings for justified type. If you go to the announcements page, I have some settings in there for justified type. So I really want you to pay attention to typography first, okay? And forget your images for now. I just concentrate on good, solid typography and good, solid hierarchy, okay? Building this story to where I know exactly what the important things are and where to go next without having to depend on these, these graphics that you've used, okay? Any questions at all, comments, feel free to get with me. Okay, good job, thanks.